Hello everyone. Today I am going to tell you a story about trains. And this, in the end, I'll get to something I've experienced today that has to do with this story, so please stay and listen. Now, you have trains, you have full trains, as in everything occupied. Now there's 4 levels of full trains. 1. Every seat is occupied. Stage 2. Every seat is occupied and quite a few people also have to stand. Stage 3. Every seat is occupied, loads of people have to stand, and the conductor even uses the intercom to tell people that they can use first class for free because there's just a lack of space in second class. I was in stage 4 today. It's just a 17-minute drive with the train from my university to near my house. Took a bit longer, mostly due to the following. Stage 4. Let's go over all the others again. Stage 1. Every seat is occupied. Add stage 2. People have to stand. Stage 3. You can freely use first class because of lack of space. Stage 4. It is so frigging darn full that even with everyone seated and everyone standing, and the entirety of first class occupied sitting and standing, that on certain train stations, there are people that want to obviously enter the train. Stage 4 does not allow those people to enter the train because there's no frigging space. We were like 6-7 minutes at the same damn train station because there were people wanting to enter, and it was too full. There's someone near me, like who was standing near the door. I was like sort of in the middle between doors. Someone at one point asked me, well, asked the people generally who were standing, could you please move a bit to create a little more space? There's 3 people here that want to enter but can't because there's no space. There was barely any space to move. Pretty sure 1 person actually was able to enter again after a few people moved. But there was at least 2 people that were just not able to enter the train. And this was just the very back of the train. I was at the very back of the train. I don't know anything about the rest of the train, where there's lots of more doors and lots of more space. Yeah. Why did this happen? Well, there were only 3 through the entirety of the Netherlands, which is the country where I live, if you didn't know that yet. Through the entirety of the Netherlands, there were only 3, according to the website anyway, 3 places where there was something up with either the train or with the train tracks. 3. However, all 3 were really, really huge. But there's a really big path of train tracks that were just broken or unable to be used, where the signals were just glitched and didn't work properly, which made it unsafe to travel. Trains that were just standing still, not working, but just at the place where there's only 1 train track, so there was no way to get past. Not this way, not that way. There was just no way. So yeah, it was frigging full in there. When I eventually had I had to get out of the train at some point, which was already difficult enough. Luckily for me, the train station I have to get out is a train station where you usually get into a different train. Like our train station, our train obviously went to a certain destination, but like my train station is usually where 2 paths come together and then split up again. So if you're on this path, but you want to go that way, then you can, then if the trains come, like they always come together like at the train station at approximately the same time. And if you're in this train, you can get up in this train and then go that way. That's how our train station works. And the same goes the other way. So a lot of people exited the train, which made the flow out of the train not that difficult. I could pretty easily exit. At train station before that, that didn't really have the X thing, if I want to call it that. Someone who was sitting the farthest from the doors, and I was pretty much one of those. But like the people around me, you'd have to really, not really push, but sort of really swerve through everyone. and had a lot of difficulty getting to the outside. Luckily, a lot of people had trouble getting in too, so there was enough time to get outside. And I would have probably yelled, "I still have to get out. Please keep the doors open," something like that. But it took like from where I was until the door, which really wasn't that much more than 10 meters max of walking normally. This took way over a minute to get that distance, because in the hallway it was already full, but then near the doors where you could really only stand, it was even more jam packed. It was crazy. 10 meters, you'd usually take, what is it, 2-3 seconds to make that? Maybe 5? It took between a minute and a half to make that distance during some of those stops. That was frigging crazy. I'm lucky I was actually just able to get on my train, and even though it was delayed a bit, I didn't really mind it because I was actually able to just get home without much trouble. I got home like 15 minutes later than normal. I didn't really mind. I wasn't in a hurry. But a few other people mostly got away, mostly just like exited their workplace or where they studied, like me, and went home. So they weren't really in a hurry. Some were. But like on those really big parts of the train tracks throughout the Netherlands that there weren't trains, some people normally take that route. So they had to go all the way around with buses and trams and subways and whatever to make that, and have to travel for at least 60 minutes extra. Meaning they almost have no free time, no time for homework or rest before they have to go to sleep and then wake up early the next day again to do stuff. That was a freaking full train! That's it, full train, you have full train, and then a freaking full train where people can't even enter because it's so freaking full. I saw one of the men that wasn't able to enter the train at that train station. I saw him through the window. He was just really laughing about it. So probably, I'm assuming he didn't look angry. So he probably wasn't in a hurry. He was probably like, "This I don't really mind. I sort of do, but I don't really." And he could sort of see the fun in it too. That it was just so full. When I just left the train station where I entered the train. Sure, that's where a lot of people gather because that's like a really big place with like universities and big workplaces. So a lot of people obviously enter the train there. So at that point, like just after we left that station, the conductor said through the intercom, "You can use first class for free. Please use it. Go ahead. You won't get any issues." So that's what happened. And it's that already was something I'd never heard before. I thought about it to do that when it was busy a few times, but I never actually heard it being said by the conductor or anyone that that works on the train, on that specific train. But then that it's so jam-packed that no one can enter the freaking train. It wasn't necessarily a really long train, but it wasn't a short one either. It was like a medium-sized train. No one was able to freaking enter. That was something. I'm like, this is... I normally would really do something, say, like, make a video about this, and I'm like, this is so crazy. I want to make a vlog about this. To tell you, but also to have something for me to look back to. I sometimes have my camera. I barely ever have my phone with me, really, because I just don't use it much. I sometimes have my video camera with me, just in case something happens. Today I didn't, and I would have loved to have it with me. I probably wouldn't have made video recordings. Well, I probably would have really. I wouldn't have made a vlog, but just a video recording of how freaking full it was. And like a picture so I could post it to me like, oh my god. Like this probably somewhere in the Netherlands happened before the last couple of years. Very likely, yes. But to me, no way. This was definitely the first time that happened to me. So I definitely wanted to make a picture of that. If not to share it with you, then just for me to look back on later. Tomorrow I start my internship at the primary school. This would have been... This is definitely a story that in a break, or if I had a few minutes to just talk, I can just talk to the kids. It's year 5 of primary school, and I'll have to introduce myself tomorrow because I'll be there for the first time. And this is just a story I could tell. Obviously shorter, like in less minutes. I've been talking for almost 10 minutes now. I'll probably do it in 2, 3. But I have something to tell. Yeah. That was one crazy adventure. Sort of.